once again, I'm talking about Pavilion, what was built here in HGB's garden. Today I'm talking to a student of system design class, Leonard, and Leonard was responsible for main building process of the pavilion under which we are sitting right now. So Leonard, please tell some introduction about this pavilion, how you took your inspiration from, and what was the preparations?
From the beginning on, it was actually our plan to build a pavilion, but we had no idea how it could look like. So, and in that workshop, we just collected different ideas and different concepts, what we're gonna do, what would be possible. So, and now we had like 3 or 4 different concepts that Will took with him to London, and then he sat down at his desk and started to draw and design something. So, and after that, the other thing started. We were checking out what kind of material we want to work with, what kind of material is in our price range and is it affordable for us. That was also a big concern, actually, because we had not much money and we were always looking for material sponsorships, like companies who could give us material for free or discount prices on something, and we were also trying to get sponsors who could financially support us, and in the end the Freundeskreis of the school gave us a lot of money to build the whole thing. And when we knew how much money we had, we could start looking around, and we went to, for example, the wood supplier who sponsored the wood, and had a look of what kind of material there is available. We did some tests with it, and we were thinking about how could the basis of the pavilion look like. So we wanted to work with concrete, and then we did tests with that. We said there must be something like a steel frame in it to make it like rigid and quite solid. We tried that out. That was all in the preparation.
How long did it take to test all materials, to have your floating in material world?
Okay, it must be something like 5 weeks or something. Yeah, that was a really long preparation time. And then we knew what we wanted to order, and we discussed about that with the architects in London, because they couldn't have a look on the material because it was here. So we were always just checking out things, how they look, how they could work, how we could assemble pieces together. And luckily we have this quite good workshop situation here in the school, that there's a metal workshop and the steel workshop. The steel workshop and the wood workshop. And without the help of these guys, we could never ever do that. And then basically the whole process was like 1 week preparation. We started to cut like wooden sheets and timbers and battens already into the right measurements that we had from Will, and then so we had a lot of parts already cut to the right size. And then in the end, Will and his crew came over for the construction week, and we started to assemble all these pieces together, set them up, and then the last week was like just doing fine-tuning on everything, like a lot of filling up and sanding, painting stuff, and that also just to get from like 95% finished to 100% finished. It's quite a long time that we needed for that, like more than a week actually.
So when I came here to HGB, you were really did painting, so it was some last percent of work. But tell me, there's electricity here as well.
Yeah.
Working with electricity help somebody?
We had a little help. It's quite an uneasy solution in there. But we had a little help from an electrician. Yeah.
Oh, great. How did you feel about that work? I mean, when you leave your computer and paperwork with design materials and start to work with real hard wood, stone, and metal.
Heavy tools and stuff, yeah, definitely. It's quite cool. That's a good thing about the system design class, because it is not limited to only graphic design, to only digital work. So this was quite nice, I think, for everybody to get out here, work outside, use tools that they have never actually used before, learn a lot of new stuff, like how do you assemble pieces together, what's a good joint connection between the two different parts. And so I think it was quite a good inspiration for practical work. And in the end, if you saw all these people who came together, and nearly none of them had any idea of what they are doing and how to handle a circular saw or whatever, like tools and stuff.
Well, when I came here, you really looked like a real professional with all those tools.
Yeah, I mean, over the days we all learned and did better and better, and in the end we had different teams, different teams who had different skills, and there were guys who were caring about the concrete foundations, and there was someone responsible for the steelworks in cooperation with Udo from the metal workshop, and then I was basically busy doing the woodworking stuff. So the whole structure is actually concrete at the floor for the bases, then steel frame, and the whole roof thing is actually completely built out of wood.
Oh, wow. And don't you really thinking right now to switch your profession and start to doing wood?
No, I'm after the whole thing, after the whole long term of building this pavilion, I'm keen to get back to my computer and do like more intellectual work right now, to do something else. But that's what I mentioned when I said it's cool, because the class is not limited to only graphic design or to a certain thing. We were thinking of what is the best contribution to the yard, and obviously it couldn't be just a graphic design solution, so we were thinking about something dimensional, and nobody in the class said, no, this is out of our horizon, we cannot do it. So we were all like, yeah, okay,
so
let's
now
build a
your
pavilion.
contribution of system design classes really something that can stay here for ages.
First, basically, at the first point, it was meant to be a temporary structure for the year of the anniversary. So over the summer into the fall, and then we actually had the idea to take it down. But as we see it now,
well, it's quite concrete. It's quite difficult to take it down right now.
And there's no need for that. How it is right now and how good it is, I'm pretty sure it should stay here for at least like 3 or 4 years. That would be possible.
So maybe you really need to think about some metal plate with all your names on it.
We will have something for that. Maybe not for every our names on it, but for all our sponsors and all our helpers, they will be on there, just to give little thanks out to the people who supported us. Yeah.
Cool. And it's great that you had all that support and all this process. Cool.
Sure.
Do you have anything to say more?
To be honest, I'm quite happy that it's over right now, because it was a lot of stress, and it's quite good that we did it during this time in the year, because now it can be here and do something for the school the whole summer, and it's quite good that it's here. The weather's fine. I hope we will have a lot of nice evenings, nights, and whatever out here, like movie and theater, lectures, whatever.
Last question. I heard about some sort of bet between the bartender and Oliver, that you will finish the job on last Friday, which you didn't. So you lost this bet, and how do you feel about that?
I don't know if it was Oliver. I know that there was a bet between the bartender in the cafe and someone, but I don't know who that was. But I personally had a bet with Alberti, who's the guy from the wood workshop, because he was always like, you will never ever make it in time. And I said, we will. On Friday at 6 o'clock we will be finished. And he said, no, you will not. And in the end, we couldn't make it until 6, but it was, I think, like 3 hours over that, like 9 or something.
Oh.
And then we were basically done. But it was quite good to keep that in mind, like all the time, and remind everybody I got a bet running with Alberti, and he said he has no trust in us. So let's try to push it down and be
harder,
quick,
yeah.
work hard, and then make it in time. And in the end, that didn't work out, but it's quite alright. I can live with that.
Looking back to yesterday's opening, to this official part and great party after that, are you feel satisfied?
I feel hungover from yesterday a little bit. Yes. Short answer. Yes, I'm satisfied. Sure.
Cool. Thank you, Leonard.
No problem.
See you later, and thank you for that great monumental structure here.
No worries.
See ya. So, guys, tell me a little bit about this project you worked on this last semester.
Do you mean the project of the pavilion?
Yeah, I mean the project of the pavilion, yes.
It was a project we did in
collaboration with
collaboration.
like our professor Leo Klimpel has a design studio in London, and he has some contacts there, and one of his contacts is a guy called Will Haggard, who is an architect there, and he's also teaching in architecture school. And it's like this, we did a collaboration with these students, which is actually a second collaboration, and we designed a pavilion on the central space of the Habibi.
To reactivate the center of the playground.
Because the playground is a really great place. There is a little garden and it's brown and it's dead, and the buildings are really high, like this old impression of the institutional architecture, and the pavilion should be there to cut it and reactivate.
Great. And what was this work about? I mean, what did you do especially?
Our part was to design the billboard, which is done for students from our school who want to exhibit, and it's a place where everybody you can
apply.
Yeah, you can apply with a project or with an idea, and afterwards you can recreate the billboard if you want to.
Like another part of the pavilion was to create a space for the students. And to make it a space for the students, there should have been also a place where people can show as students.
Yeah.
So the design is made of lots of different sheets of papers with some words on it. How did you come up with that kind of idea? What was your searching about?
The main idea, I think, it was like to invite the students to play on it, kind of like to take it easy, and on the one hand, not to make it too complex to understand. And on the other hand, we wanted to work with color because always the playground was kind of dark and dirty, not dirty but brown, how we said before. And this was the point. One point we wanted to work with color. This was kind of sure, I think. And the words, they came out of kind of play, like playing with sentence, using all the time the same words in different.
So yeah, like these little word games. So we took a few words that we repeated overly and overly. So we printed word play, this, use, which else, place.
So every person who can come, he can create his own understanding of the project. He can create his own sentence and understand its own
idea. But the
sentences
we curated, so we made this game with these words. You form the main sentence. You form with a display on this display, and then you can form other words like replace your display, replace displays, in display.
Put on this display.
Put in.
Great. First time I met you here in Hagebe, you were working on a poster, some billboard, which is right now up high on this amphitheater.
It's the second part of the same project.
Yes, you can understand it as a flag.
Like this little billboard has another value as the big one. Like the big one is 3 meters times 240. The small one is A1 size, so it's smaller. And it will work. It could function as how you want it, but we will let it function as kind of a title board to the pavilion. So we made the title of our project play on this, on one side of it, and on the other side we made an abstract representation of the like a mathematical representation of the pavilion.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
Congratulations with an opening, and see you later.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you later.